Hello, it is Keegan here, and today I am bringing you week number 2 of the WBG. This week we're playing against Bread Pudding. Super exciting game. We won week 1 of our VGC league, which I was certainly not expecting. I am super excited for week number 2, hopefully trying to continue that trend and go 2-0. Today, as I said, we're playing against Bread Pudding. He is a VGC player, so this is our first player who's, more experienced with the format certainly than I would say Ant and I would be about equal experience in terms of how much VGC we've really played. He's played in one more regional than me, but not really that much more in terms of the aspect of the draft league side of things. Bread Pudding, it's going to be a little bit of a different beast. He's definitely played a lot more draft than I have when it comes to VGC, so it's going to be a tough matchup. Let's take a look at the matchup actually quickly. Incineroar, Goldango, Latios, Ogerpon, Landorus, Palafin, Glastrier, Jolteon, and Sneasel Hisui. Really interesting matchup. Not sure what to think about this one. I think Incineroar, Goldango are really problematic into my team. Ogerpon is also pretty decent. I don't actually have a good water type on this team, which is going to kind of come up in this matchup against the Palafin as well. So that's something I'm going to need to look to resolve in the next coming weeks. Otherwise, Incineroar is one of the best Pokemon in VGC for a reason, but I think my team actually handles it pretty well. Fluttermane does a good job pressuring it. The Hail between Heatran and Rhyperior also do a lot of damage to it. So I'm not as concerned with that as I am with something like Goldango. My Heatran is really reliant on attacking that Goldango in this matchup, and I definitely can't Terra my Heatran unless I'm a specific Terra type to resist the Goldango, which kind of makes it difficult to then play into Goldango and Landorus at the same time. Ogerpon is then another threat, as I said, between Ogerpon and Palafin. I don't actually have good water resist besides Baxcalibur, which barely counts, and Cottonee, which is more for support than anything. So that's my thoughts going into the matchup, and let's get right into the team. Before we get into the team, big shout out, if you have not already, please subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers this year. We hit 400 last week, and it's been a super great start to the year, and hopefully we can keep that momentum going. All right, let's get into the team here. It's going to be really quick, and I'm just going to be showing off my sets for the most part, as I am actually recording this 2 hours later than I usually upload these games for, a variety of reasons. Just a lot going on in my life right now. Positive things, but a lot going on. So this is my Fluttermane set this week. We are running Booster Special Attack. Booster Special Attack, the speed tiers, if you look at the matchup, aren't really relevant for the most part. I just need to be able to cover off Jolteon. And realistically, I don't think Jolteon is going to be that great of a bring into me. I do have the Hail aspect. I do have Rhyperior. Heatran does a good job pressuring it. It doesn't really pressure a lot on my team. So I'm mainly just there trying to cover off. I'm pretty sure this covers off the Latios, because that's going to be the main Pokemon checking this. And then Booster Special Attack helps me put a lot of pressure on something like Incineroar, which could be a problem, naturally in this matchup. I do have Power Gem as well for the Incineroar. It's just another way to pressure it, though this likely should have been Shadow Ball because of that Goldango. And one of the themes in this team is, outside of the Heatran, I was a little bit underprepared for Goldango and relied on a certain Pokemon on the thumbnail to kind of get me out of this. Next up, we just have, a very fast Alolan Ninetales. All we really need the speed for on this thing is to get past the Landorus. And then we have Dark Pulse here as another way to pressure the Goldango if it's not Terrad. But basically this is going to set up Aurora Veil and do as much damage as possible. Next up we have Baxcalibur. Baxcalibur is really crucial in week number 1 as a Terra Bug Pokemon. This week it's Poison. We do have Steel as well on the Alolan Ninetales. I forgot to mention that Terra type. And then Fairy on the Fluttermane. Very standard stuff on the Fluttermane. Steel helps against Goldango a little bit as well if we need it for that end game situation. I have Poison this week. It is weak to the Landorus, but the Poison is nice against Ogerpon. It's decent against the Goldango as well. And then we have Thermal Exchange because there is an Incineroar on the other side. So there is a reason to change my ability this week. And then just a standard SD set with high horsepower to pressure both Goldango and the Incineroar. We have Life Orb Heatran here. We have, kind of the standard set of coverage moves. Dragon Pulse this week pressures the Latios very effectively. And we have Terra Fairy, but likely this is only going to be used as a defensive counterplay to the Landorus if we end up having to use that. Rhyperior this week is just max. We're not running negative speed because there's not really a purpose to doing that this week. Leftovers just gives us a little bit of longevity to take hits if we have to come in on something like Jolteon. And then Protect just to buy us turns, and then some generic coverage moves. Megahorn's going to do a good job against something like the Ogerpon if we Terra into electric form and catch it on an attack and do a lot of damage to it. And then the GOAT of the team, Focus Sash, Slush Rush, Beartic. It is min speed, but actually, all the things I want to outspeed with this thing in the snow at Adamant no speed are actually pretty much covered. But with the Focus Sash, I maybe could have hit a few Pokemon at a few speed tiers a little bit higher than this. But this Pokemon is going to be really, really good. Terra Fire allows me to Terra Blast and pressure Goldango. Icicle Crash and Rock Slide, just very good, moves in general. Icicle Crash puts a lot of damage on his team, and Rock Slide gives me more ability to flinch. That's all I have for the team builder this week. Let's get right into the battle. All right, welcome to WBG week number 2. We are playing more VGC. We beat Ant last week under questionable circumstances, I think is how I would prefer to describe it. But yeah, we beat Ant under questionable circumstances last week, but we're playing against Bread Pudding this week. This guy is awesome, and the reason that this guy is awesome is he made grace period transactions going into week 1 and then reverted them after a power rankings video went up during week 1. So that was like the funniest thing of all time. So I already love this guy. This guy's a beauty for sure. But preparation's complete, and let's get into the battle. He has a few things. So he's got Landorus. We'll go over his Terra types as they come up on screen. Okay, game 1. So he's got Poison, Landorus, Grass, Ogerpon, Water Palafin, Water Glastrier, Incineroar's a fighting type, and we have Goldango. That looks like a Tornadus on the Landorus, and then Steel type Goldango. So I think the way that I want to prepare and lead against this first is I'm pretty sure that his lead, so he's got Steel Goldango, so I'm pretty confident that his lead is going to include Goldango to lead against my, what's it called? Well, I can't even think of the name, Fluttermane. And I'm pretty sure Goldango is going to lead because it pressures my teams pretty effectively in this matchup. So I think what I want to do is lead out my Heatran. Heatran's going to be a good way to lead against that. And then I expect something like the Landorus to be a counter lead to that Singers as well. So I'm going to lead my Snowcore here, and then I'm going to put Beartic and Fluttermane in the back. So my plan is to set up the snow, get some stuff going on with the Aurora Veil, and then get Heatran in to pressure that Goldango. I do have Terra Steel on my Alolan Ninetales, so that'll hopefully allow me if I need to Terra to prevent something like that. My team is pretty Palafin weak outside of the Baxcalibur. That's something I probably should have prepared a little bit more for, but alas, as you can probably tell, I've been really sick this week, so we're gonna get what we get this week. So good luck, have fun to our friend Bread Pudding official. So we're gonna get the snow up. So it's likely Palafin is gonna want to flip turn out here. It might just hard out. I think like a Protect on Heatran is like pretty, I wouldn't say pretty telegraphed. I think it's very telegraphed at this point. I don't think, he's going to risk that. I think he would much rather go for a flip turn on the Alolan Ninetales slot, if any at all. So what I think that I want to do in this scenario is go for the Terra on my Heatran, and that's to prevent the Ogerpon from being a potential problem to this guy. I guess no, I don't need to because this is the regular Ogerpon. So I can just Heat Wave here and just put a spread Heat Wave off. I can definitely live, a lot of hits from this Palafin, and I'm just going to set up Aurora Veil. So let's get up Veil and throw a Heat Wave off. Ivy Cudgel is coming the way of the Alolan Ninetales, so that's going to do a lot of damage, but my Citrus Berry is going to heal me back up. We know that this is going to, outspeed, so we know it's very, very quick. It's very, very quick, jolly Ogerpon now, so that's really good. He's just going to Wave Crash into my guy, and he gets a crit. Okay, well, that is... that's unfortunate. You know what, I probably deserved that, realistically, so I can't, say too much. We do get the Ogre Pawn kill though, which is nice. So we do trade. We do get our Hail guy out, and we do get to now bring in our next Pokemon here. So we did Wave Crash there. That's good. We didn't waste our Terra. So the question here is, do I want to bring in my Slush Rush guy? Do I bring in the God Beartic in this situation? What could he possibly bring? So what's likely in the back there? I think something like Landorus. I want to protect my... I want to protect... He has Incineroar, actually. I was thinking Landorus might be a possibility. He might want to protect his... what's it called? Protect his Palafin from my Heatran and put me in a bad position. And the Incineroar is kind of frustrating here. What's nice here, though, is I do have Terra Fire on this. Question is what do I want to do? Is it likely that we see the Fighting-type Terra come from the Incineroar? I think there's a decent chance of that, actually, in this spot. So how do I want to play this? I think I just want to keep up offensive pressure. I do like the Heat Wave, and I do have Veil Up, so I don't really need to Terra my Flutter Mane, realistically, given what's in the back. Though I do need to protect this in case he has Goldango. So I'm just going to protect here. And then at this point, I think I'm just going to go for the Rock Slide. I could go for Terra Fire, but that's obviously really bad in the face of Palafin. What do I think that he's going to target here? I'm going to protect, yeah, so I'm going to protect here in Rock Slide. I think just to try to bait a flinch here. He is going to withdraw the Palafin, so I do get some extra damage on one of his last guys, which is really crucial, and that's going to be the Goldango. So that's perfect. So we kind of figured that Goldango would be out here, and we know he didn't Terra because the Terra should go before the switch. And he's going to fake out on the Heatran, actually, and that's going to be to protect his Goldango to get in here. So that's a good plan on his part. I am going to get the Rock Slide off, and that Rock Slide's going to do actually nothing, unfortunately, to the Incineroar. So we know the full build that's out here now. Question is how do I want to play around this? I think I Heat Wave. He's probably going to Terra Blast Fighting. If I Heat Wave and then go for the Terra Blast, well, let me think about this actually. So I have Terra Blast Fire that I can Terra Blast into the Goldango. How much is that doing? Oh my god, dude. Dude, what? What? Oh no, I'm looking at the wrong... Dude, I thought I had Special Beartic. Dude, I can't believe that. Dude, I was so scared for a second. I almost ruined my entire life. I saw that thing do, a lot less damage. Terra Fire has a decent chance, not to kill, but I think what I'm going to do here is just Heat Wave, and then I'm going to actually Terra and Terra Blast down the Goldango here, just to get that Pokemon dead and gone. This is going to make it susceptible to the Palafin, but the nice thing about that is he doesn't have a double targeting move with Palafin to hit both of my guys. And so if I can target down this, and he force a potential Terra on his Incineroar, then that could be really good for me. So this is going to do a lot of damage. It won't kill, but it'll put it in range of Heat Wave, which is nice, hopefully. And that looks like it should be in range of Heat Wave. So he should be able to pick off the Goldango here, nice. And Goldango is down. He does get to bring in the problem child that is Palafin. Palafin, as I said, is really, really good against my team. And it's going to be really difficult for me to actually break that. And he is going to CC onto the Heatran, but the Heatran lives, which is nice. And that's, a part of the power of Aurora Veil in this spot, just really, really coming through. And, he probably didn't necessarily predict that I would make, the Terra be my Beartic in this specific spot because of the Palafin in the back. But I do like my spot here. Question is how does he want to approach this? I feel like he's going to Terra the Palafin, so I'm going to Earth Power the Incineroar slot. And I'm just going to go for a Protect. I think on... How many turns of Snow do I have left? I have one more turn of Snow and Veil. Okay, so that's good to note. So I should be fine to live a Jet Punch from the Palafin. So question is do I just want to double target? Do I just want to put the pressure on the Palafin? Because I should just be able to kill the Incineroar with Moonblast. I think that's how I want to play this. So I think that means we Dragon Pulse the Palafin, and we Rock Slide so we can have... We Rock Slide here instead of Protect, and that allows us to bring in our... what's it called? Our Flutter Mane with the Aurora Veil and Snow still up. So he's going to Terra Water on his thing here. Now, he could have targeted the Heatran. That's actually probably his best play here. It's actually to target the Heatran instead of the Beartic. Oh, he's going to target the Beartic. That's actually going to work out perfect. Oh my god, this thing lived? This guy's God. The God Beartic coming through in the clutch. And I get the Dragon Pulse off. That should hopefully kill. That does, perfect. I don't think the crit mattered. I don't know. He got a crit earlier, so at worst we're even. At worst we're even. But Beartic pulls up in the back. I found it funny. So this thing is certainly dead. But then we get to bring in our Fluttermane, and Fluttermane will pull out the rest of this game for us. So really, really good first game. I think we positioned that super well. I think the crit was actually pretty unfortunate for him, because if that didn't kill my Alolan 9, getting Beartic on that turn was actually really, really powerful. Now, unfortunately, I do have to reveal that I'm booster special attack. Well, I revealed that I'm booster. Yeah, I revealed that I'm booster special attack in this specific spot. So that's a little bit of unfortunate information to give up here. But I just get to go click a Dazzling Gleam. So I don't want to reveal too much. And I'm just going to Rock Slide here. Don't really have much of a reason to do anything else. And down goes the Incineroar. And we take up game 1 in this set. So good first game. Really, really good first game here. We've won 3 in a row in VGC, which is kind of surprising that I've won 70% of my individual games so far. But what's bad about this is his team is really, really good at adjusting against mine, because he has a lot of powerful threats. The Goldango really didn't get to accomplish much in that, because I caught him off with the play of going Terra Fire on my Beartic to get down the Goldango. So that wasn't really something I think he was necessarily expecting me to play to in this matchup. So yeah, look, that's good for me. I'll take that. I'll take that. How do we adjust now going into game 2? So he led the Ogerpon and the Palafin. So he led the Palafin to get that back out, and he had the Incineroar and the Goldango in the back. So let me go to preparations complete. So I'm not using my time on that screen to think about lead. All right, from here. So how do we counter lead against that? I kind of think that there's a decent chance that Landorus comes out this time, because it really pressures the Heatran specifically. What I kind of think I want to do against the lead that he went for is lead with the Snow Core of Alolan Ninetales and Baxcalibur. Baxcalibur is actually really, really decent into this, the sets that he brought. And I can go for Aurora Veil plus a Swords Dance on turn 1 and start to put a lot of pressure that way. How would he lead to prevent that? If I Aurora Veil, he could Ivy Cudgel. He's not doing a lot of damage to this. I think this is how I want to position this game. Leave the Beartic at home for this one, and go with the Bax Ninetales lead option. So we know it's fast Jolly Ogerpon. That's actually really important to note in this spot, because it did outspeed my Ninetales, and it's required for that to happen, because my Ninetales is covering the 10. He's got like a 100, I think, on his team that I'm covering. So he leads the Goldango. Yeah, this is, wow. All right, talk about almost worst case scenario. Goldango and Incineroar. This is, talk about a lead that's just going to make this go to shit real quick. He adjusted very, very well there. How did that lead against Heatran? It might not have even been good against my initial lead. But he makes a good play here. Now I do have Dark Pulse. I could just get really aggressive and go for my Terra Steel and Dark Pulse the Goldango and just start to put pressure on this guy. Goldango in this matchup is the most problematic Pokemon that he has access to. So I think that's kind of what I want to go for here. I think it's pretty obvious. Like, the Aurora Veil is super obvious from my perspective. So how do I use that to my advantage? I can Icy Wind Terra Steel. Actually, that might be very, very powerful. And then I can Swords Dance up and put myself into +2. I'm going to Swords Dance. This feels kind of fishy. This feels a little fishy. But I think I made this lead just kind of didn't accomplish a lot against what he led. So I kind of have to hope for a scenario in which he tries to target the steel type on my team. I guess Making Rain's a fucking other move. What's the thing called? A spread move. So I'm just throwing here in general. As he is going to tear steel. So yeah, I wouldn't have been able to Dark Pulse that. So I saved that little bit of information. But yeah, this was just a not productive lead to what he led. But I don't really have an option. He is going to fake out here. That's good for him. And I'm going to Sword Sand. So I'm faster than both the Goldango and the Incineroar. So that's good to note. He's going to make it rain on me. And I should probably die. Yeah, that was just, yeah, nonsensical lead by me on that one. Unfortunately, I do get to position in my Heatran here, though, which is good. But yeah, that just was not a turn that was productive. So, luckily, there's not, like, more information I can really give this guy in this spot that he doesn't, like, already know. So how do I want to approach this? So I can Moonblast. At this point, Veil is just kind of not going to get up. And that's something that I have to accept at this point. At least not as, like, the turn sit. So, Incineroar has what? The Fake Out, CC. I could double, so I kind of want to double target the Incineroar here. And the reason is that is kind of the biggest threat left to my team. I could Heat Wave an incoming target. He could just protect on the Incineroar. That would actually make sense. I could actually use this as an opportunity to Aurora Veil, though I do think there's a high likelihood that he just uses Incineroar to attack down my Ninetales, and I think he probably switches out his Goldango here. So I'm just going to double target the Incineroar as he does switch this out. So if he does give me this, that's a good opportunity. He gets Palafin in, which is fine. That's a mon we knew was going to be in the back. And he does actually allow us to double target this Pokemon. We're obviously not going to get to pick up a kill by any means on this thing, but we're damn near close to being able to pick that off. And that might actually be in range. Oh, well, it's definitely in range of this Flare Blitz, assuredly. It is. Okay, so Incineroar is down. So we do have our good friend, the Fluttermane, to come back in here. And Fluttermane gets to pressure this Palafin now. And I do have the pressure, I think. So how do I play this? I think I have to protect the Heatran. I think it's very likely that he actually tries to attack Heatran here on this turn. I think that's like a very, very likely play. He goes Glastrier. Okay. And yes, I know that it's Glastrier, but look, I'm close to Quebec, okay? I'm sure Emil understands. I'm sure Emil understands that I call it Glastrier. So what's the likely scenario here is I Dazzling Gleam. I expect the Jet Punch to come and hit me. I expect him to attack either Wave Crash or Jet Punch on Heatran. So I think I want a Dazzling Gleam to put pressure on it like that, and then protect with the... Well, protecting Heatran actually doesn't do anything, because I'm not going to kill the fucking Palafin with this. Unless, like, this is some sort of crazy scenario. Yeah, the Dazzling Gleam won't kill, so this actually doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to Heat Wave and Dazzling Gleam is just double target. He is going to Jet Punch. It's going to go onto this actually instead, so that's good that I attacked then. Because that would have been a really unproductive turn otherwise. And the Heat Wave will come out. Any burns? Any burns on the Palafin? Any burns on the Palafin? Anyone burning the Palafin? Wow, no burns on the Palafin is crazy. That's crazy. Now I'm going to have to eat a Jet Punch. So I think this game is pretty lost. This game should just be pretty lost. So what's good about this game realistically is, like, despite, like, playing pretty poorly, I was still actually pretty in it. And I think he probably... I was going to say, there's like actually a decent chance he just switches here, because that might guarantee a KO. It might guarantee a KO with the big guy form now at this point. There's a good chance this Goldango lives. Alright, well, it doesn't. So I guess let's see if it kills. That's going to be the question here. I didn't get Veil up this game, so I have to assume it kills. There's no way this big boy Palafin doesn't kill my Heatran from this range. Surely not. Alright, I guess misclick maybe? I don't know. I guess I could protect, but fuck it. I assume that goes into the right slot anyway. And we die. Okay. Unfortunate. That was just a horrible lead. I think Excalibur is just not productive in this matchup. I just can't bring that Pokemon. And I thought it would be good against Palafin, but I think my general team is just fine into Palafin as is. That I just don't need to play in that way. And not that I should have brought something else besides Excalibur in the matchup in general, but I think I just have to go back to what worked. And Heatran, once again, is very, very good in this matchup. And I think I overcorrected on an Ideal Landorus. But, alright, let's battle again with the same rules. I'm waffling too much. Let's get back into it. So I think at this set, I certainly lead. I think I lead Ninetales Heatran again. Or I lead Ninetales Heatran. I really like that lead, actually, in this matchup. I think it's very, very productive lead. Especially if I can get Aurora Veil set up. Because if he leads the Goldango Incineroar again... Oh, do I have to click again? Oh, I'm an idiot. I think the play is to lead with the Snow and Heatran again, because that was very effective against his first lead, and it was really good against his second lead that he had. So against all of the leads that he's shown me, it's been very, very good. Fluttermane in the back. Beartic was good in the back for sure. I think it was a decent mon. I do have Rhyperior. What does Rhyperior offer me? Really not a lot. I think the Slush Rush aspect of the Beartic is going to be likely more relevant, though this mon kind of relies on Terra, but so does the Rhyperior, to be honest. So I think I'm just going to go with the Rock Slider in the back and try to not use my Terra on turn 1 in this spot. So there we go, big game 3. Can we go 2-0 to start the season in VGC, which would be ridiculous if that's the case. To think that I would start a VGC League 2-0. But let's see what our friend has. Incineroar Glastrier. Okay, this is actually a really good lead for me, I think. I actually really, really like this lead. So I really, really expect the fake out here. What does this Glastrier want to do to me? There's probably a high horsepower coming onto the Heatran here. That would be my biggest guess. The question is so I play around that by Terra, obviously. I play around that by Terraing. What do I do here? So fake out high horsepower on Heatran is his most likely play. So I think I Aurora Veil in case that's not what he wants to do. I think that is kind of evident in terms of how I want to play this. If I Terra here and I get the Heat Wave off, that really puts me in a good position because my Ninetales can then kill Glastrier. And he does have an Incineroar in play, but now I have a Fairy-type Heatran, which is really good against the Incineroar. So I think I'm going to do this, actually. Aurora Veil in case he doesn't fake out on my Ninetales. And then Heatran in Fairy mode is going to be able to take pretty much any hit this Glastrier wants to do. And as long as I hit Heat Wave on Glastrier, I think I'm really, really liking my spot in this matchup. The Heatran is going to get faked out. Interesting. So I do get my Aurora Veil off, which is actually pretty nice. Iron Defense. Interesting. Okay. Well, this could be a problem, but I'm not like too concerned about this realistically. The question here is Glastrier. The combination of Moonblast plus Heatran, like, assuredly kills this. So, I think what I want to do here is just double target down this Glastrier, just get this Pokemon out of here. If he has to switch out, then he does get targeted here. The Glastrier is Water type, which is a little frustrating, to be honest. But the Moonblast should still do a decent amount of damage. This Moonblast is going to do about, like, 30%. And it does force a Terra. That did a lot less than my Calcasing. So he definitely has some Spadef investment. And hopefully we get a burn. Any burns? Can we get a burn on this thing? He's going to Flare Blitz target the Ninetales, which will live. So that's good. We get a lot more chip now on Incineroar. And I expect the target potentially to go into Ninetales here. I don't think he would target... Oh, he's going to Icicle Crash the Heatran. Okay, so that did nothing. So this Pokemon is not making a lot of progress on his side, this Glastrier. I do need to be really, really mindful of my Heatran's HP at this point, because I do have to answer the Goldango. But what's nice is now I have my booster special attack. This doesn't have Shadow Ball on it. Fuck, that's a problem. Oh man, I'm not in a good position now against Goldango. I have Power Gen specifically for the other thing, but I probably should have ran 4 attacks on my Fluttermane. I really do not like my positioning here against the... what's it called? I don't like my positioning here against the Goldango. So I think the problem is I think I actually lose to Goldango now. The problem is Heatran as a fairy isn't even a good response to it either. So I'm going to Earth Power the Incineroar because that certainly is going to kill. I can pick up some extra Moonblast damage on the Glastrier, which will be fine. And hopefully this should kill Incineroar. No, it doesn't. Oh, I should have double targeted Incineroar. What am I doing? This should this certainly dies to now. The Incineroar will die to this. Yeah, I'm not particularly happy about how this is played out. Goldango is a huge, huge problem now, and I'm very weak to Jet Punch from Palafin. So if I Beartic, if he goes Palafin, yeah, I think I just lose to Goldango. I think my out is he doesn't have Goldango on his team. Power Gem was kind of a fishy move to bring. Dude, I always get baited into bringing fucking Power Gem on my Fluttermane, or on like my random things when I just should not be. I could bring in Beartic, actually. Beartic does a decent job of rock sliding in this spot, which could potentially be relevant, and save my Fluttermane in the back. I mean, isn't that even necessarily relevant at this point? Yeah, if I had Shadow Ball, I'm in a much, much different position. He does bring out the Palafin, so this Jet Punch is assuredly coming out to target the Heatran. Maybe I should have had Fluttermane. That might have been the way to play around this. So I'm just going to protect on Heatran and force him to lock in. He's just going to withdraw. Yeah, I'm just getting outplayed at this point. Yeah, he does have the Goldango, which basically, it kind of locks this game. There's not really much that I can do to progress now. Past this point, Goldango was just super solid in the matchup, and I should have been a little bit better prepared for it. He's going to body press me here. It actually doesn't do a lot, which is kind of funny. Well, I think at this point I just have to... I have to get like a Rock Slide flinch. Well, I mean, I'm going for Rock Slide here. If I get the flinch and I get the Heat Wave off, then winners win, I guess. But I mean, this just didn't work out, unfortunately, super well. So let's get a little bit of a flinch and a Heat Wave hit. That'd be pretty fire. Alright, hit the Protect. And hit Goldango. And I might be faster anyway. I am faster. Alright. Dude, these Protects make this so dicey. Yay! I hit the Goldango! Okay, alright. A chance. We have a chance here. Where there's a will, there's a way. Where there is a will, there is a way. The snow has stopped. Well, okay. Maybe there's not a will or a way at this point. But we've gotten 1,000,000 kills with our friend. We got 1,000,000 kills with Heatran in this game. So there is that. So there is that positive to look out at. But I think this Palafin, the combination of Palafin Goldango is just really, really good this week. And I didn't have a lot that I thought necessarily could solve this problem. At this point, I'll just Rock Slide. That's the only way that I can get relevant damage. And I'll Heat Wave in case he makes some sort of insane play. He Jet Punches the Beartic and I live, which is kind of wild. So I do get a Heat Wave off. Can we get a little burn action? Double burn. Burn on Palafin would be based. And Heatran goes down to Life Orb. No burns. That's unfortunate. Not really much we can expect out of that one, though, to be honest. Do get a Rock Slide off that puts a little bit more damage. If I flinched the Glastrier, that would have been actually interesting. Well, I can maybe live Jet Punch and crit both of these things with the the Fluttermane. I guess there's still a chance. Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, surely the Jet Punch, surely the Jet Punch I think should kill, but maybe it doesn't. Alright, we made probably a little bit of a suboptimal team and had a suboptimal game plan, but as I kind of planned this entire season, everything just comes down to the God Flutter main. Dude, I'm like the Drewski image right now. Hands up, like, alright, Dazzling Gleam and do your thing, boss. Alright, well that's interesting. Does this actually kill now? Oh, you rat. Double protecting rat. Oh, this might... Oh, never mind. This makes sense. He has leftovers. He has leftovers. He has leftovers. It makes sense. That might pull him out of range here, actually. Yes, Icicle Crush, though. He could miss Icicle Crash. That's probably why he has to do it. He probably dies to this on the Palathin side. I don't know. Probably not. Alright, Drewski, hands up. Please. Yeah, that would be funny if I killed. Alright, Jump Punch probably pickies me. Yeah, I die. Alright, that was fun. That was a really, really good set, though, to be honest. That was an amazing game. Good GG to Bread Pudding. He's someone who plays, to my understanding, a good amount of VGC, so very, very solid player. And, you know, not the result that we wanted, but this was kind of how I expected a lot of my VGC weeks to go anyway, so...